This episode of The Modern Rogue brought to you by Audible.
Go to audible.com/rogue for your free 30-day trial.
Yeah, man, what are you doing driving and doing dishes? You should be getting smart during that time.
Yeah, stop driving and reading a book. Listen to one.
If you're the guy driving and reading a book,
You're
shame on you.
endangering lives.
Shit, knock it off,
Stop
man.
it.
What are you doing?
God.
Hey, Murphy, is it possible for beer to be even better?
Nope.
Beerists, attack! Get him! Is that how that works? There's suddenly my henchman. You figure we gotta start with a toast here, right?
Yeah. What is this, scam school?
Boom, 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 boom.
Cheers.
We're back again with the Beerists because this is gonna be our great white whale. This is going to be like finding Sasquatch because I'm told that you can enjoy beer even better than we have up until this moment.
The hell you say?
That's what these people claim. Good to see you, John. Good to see you, Grant.
Hey, so at the Beerists, we're all about drinking great beer, but there are some things that a lot of people don't know that can make your experience a lot better.
1. Quickly chill your beer.
Yeah, fast cooling. Well, I mean, a lot of times you have beer at home or somebody brings beer to your house and it's room temperature. And there are some ways to...
Gary.
And there are some ways to cool your beer. You can throw it in the fridge, but that takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You are in emergency mode. You just want a cold beer.
Okay, so we got 3 room temperature beers here. These are, look at this, we got a new toy.
Yeah.
We're like,
Specifically went to Home Depot to get
Went
this.
right out.
I just burnt out the CCD on there. So this is saying it's about 80 degrees in here. This says it's 82 degrees.
Yep. The gun probably isn't going to be entirely accurate, but mostly accurate.
It's 81 degrees, 82 degrees. This one says 80 degrees.
Okay, so these are about as warm as the room is right now.
Right.
So there's one thing that people can do that's really easy. You take a bottle or a can, wrap it in a paper towel, wet it, and then you put it in the freezer.
The idea is that as dry as it evaporates and the coldness is like a cold jacket for your beer.
Yeah, it cools off your beer a lot more quickly than just putting it in the freezer alone, maybe 7 or 8 minutes, but we want to do it quicker.
Well, so what are the 3 ways we're gonna test right now on these guys?
So we're gonna do the typical one where you just take the beer, put it in the ice, like you're at a tailgate party, and we'll have that just cool down. Look at that, there we go.
How convenient.
The other ones we're gonna try are we're gonna put it in ice and then spin the bottle.
I always heard it as called rolling, and the idea is that as you run your fingers over it, it's spinning the liquids around so that it's getting the maximum surface area.
Right, we're gonna put the beer in ice water without any salt just to see what happens, how quickly it cools down, and then we're gonna do it again with salt water.
I understand that the more salt content is in the water, the harder it has a time getting frozen solid ice, so that oftentimes, like if you're in the water off the coast of Antarctica or whatever, that water is below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but is still liquid, right?
Yes.
So theoretically, adding the salt will make it colder than frozen.
You've been a big proponent of this method for a long time.
This is my go-to, but I've never scientifically tested it until this time. So I say we'll just fill these pretty much up with ice.
We're not getting drunk, we're doing science. We're sciencing.
How long of a time trial do you want to make this?
We'll give it 3 minutes. How about that?
Do you think it's possible to get it all the way cold in 3 minutes?
I think we can get relatively
Those are gonna need water in them.
See, and this is the part that always messes with me. When you think like, oh, I'm adding water, but that's just gonna warm up this ice. But what you get with the ice water mixture is complete surface coverage, right?
Yes, surface area is a big factor here.
Right, so as this is only touching on individual pieces of ice, when this one, here, I'll fill it up.
Yeah, let's fill those up with water.
Let's get them enough to where there's more ice than water. So we're doing 3-minute trials.
Yes.
You're the timekeeper. Do you have a preferred technique on the rolling? Do you just set it in there and spin?
Set it in there and just spin them.
So I always thought it had to go this way.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
So okay.
Yeah, you can do it vertically.
Salt one of these up like crazy.
All right,
Just
let's do
go,
it.
Like just yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then kind of, you don't have to put that much, but that's good.
Yeah, no, I think you do.
We're going
man.
for
I think
it.
it matters. The saltier it is, the lower the temperature, I believe.
That is true, yeah.
Here, keep it going. Let's just go crazy salt nuts.
This is sort of how ice cream makers work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you add salt to it so it drops the temperature of the water
Yeah.
even further. So you end up with a colder liquid that'll actually freeze.
Yeah.
And you could feel that this one's already slushier than the other one. Just by all we did was add the salt, and all of a sudden it's more liquidy. Man. Yeah. Yeah.
We're doing all the salt in there.
I want to believe it's magic.
Okay, okay.
Let's just finish it off there.
No way
You
that'll
don't
go
need
bad.
that much salt for it to work. just so you all know.
It's all clearly collected down at the bottom.
You drink that, and then you go into kidney failure.
This is just frozen ice, no water, and it's coming in at 22.5 Fahrenheit. Ice and water is coming in at 22.5.
Okay.
Salt and ice water. What's your guess?
18.
20?
16.
Oh, nice.
16.9. There it is.
Very
Wow.
cool.
That's okay. So already, I think we have a winner.
Gentlemen, are we ready for insertion?
Always.
What?
I don't know what that means.
This is the coldest out of all of them by like a degree or two. So
Okay.
I'm gonna put this in the tailgate cooler.
Okay, give it a little head
And then
start.
you give us a ready, set, go, and
Okay.
we'll do salted versus unsalted.
All right, 3 minutes and go.
All right, here we go.
Plunge those suckers in there.
All right.
Those two bottles twirling is so satisfying looking to me.
It's like ASMR for drunks.
They're just gliding beautifully in this.
This is like Rubio's fidget spinner. Got 2 minutes, 15 seconds.
Oh man.
Yeah, if you're doing, one for yourself, a pitcher is perfect. You could do more if you have a bucket, a small cooler, fill that up with ice, salt water. Works
Fill
out
your
great.
toilet full of ice, put the beer in, and flush it, and then it just.
Give or take, that upper deck area is fairly sanitary.
Ooh, that's a good
You
point.
throw a bunch of ice in there.
I'm not drinking the outside of the bottle either, so I think I'm gonna be okay.
That was definitely a summer camp thing. Summer camp's code for prison.
That's where you learn Bruno.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pruno, is that not the Pruno bucket?
It might be the Pruno bucket. I was hoping nobody was gonna notice.
Yeah, maybe we don't drink that one in there because it might have botulism.
You might. You might.
Oh, we've since been corrected. People point out that the botulism vector in that story was from potatoes used, and they said that
Really?
because it's so acidic, it was unlikely, but they did not say completely safe. They said it was unlikely that we would have died of botulism.
Well, drink up then.
No, no.
Oh, my arm.
Oh,
Really?
please.
I'm very used to this motion.
Is that how? No, I don't. 5 seconds.
3.
1, 0.
All right, here we go. Out, out, out.
Stop.
Galaga! Exterior of tailgate is 63, 64. This one is rolled in water and ice, 54.
Real quick, 3 minutes, it went down that much.
And then this one is in the salt water and ice, 46.
46.
Hey. Remarkably effective.
Yeah, I would say the results were much bigger than I had expected. But I guess you guys already knew.
Yeah, it happens real fast. So something I've been doing since college.
Yeah. Like pointing it at the salt, it has it at -1 degree Fahrenheit.
-4.
That's awesome.
Cheers.
Get one.
All right, what else you got?
2. Avoid skunked beer.
One of the things that a lot of people don't really realize is how much of an effect sunlight has on beer.
Not so much from a heat perspective, but you're saying they're actually photosensitive Jeep Jops in there.
Both.
Yeah, photosensitive Jeep jobs are what we call them.
Yep.
There are these chemicals that hops have that go into the beer when you make beer, right? During the process, you're pulling extracts from the hops into your beer, and that causes some bitterness and some flavor. Those extracts, those things in the hops, there are some flavor compounds in there that are photosensitive. Now, when light hits them, they combine with other things in the beer, mainly sulfur and yeast, and create these chemicals called thiols. It's a category of chemical.
And this is the part that blew me away. I was thinking that this is like if it's on a shelf for a week or so in the sunlight, it causes a problem. But you set up 2 beers 20 minutes ago,
Yes.
and you're saying that just from one of them exposed to sunlight, the other one not, we'll be able to tell the difference?
It'll happen a lot quicker than that, actually, in direct sunlight, especially in the Texas summer.
Really?
Yeah.
So how long does a beer have to be exposed to sunlight before it starts to go bad?
Well, just a few minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. This chemical compound that ends up happening in the beer is in the same class of chemical compounds that makes a skunk's squirty grossness smell bad.
So it'll be literally skunk.
Yes, so that's what skunky beer comes
Oh,
from.
wow.
Yeah, Corona is in a clear bottle and always smells like that. Things in green bottles always smell like that. Brown bottles, things in cans aren't affected as much. Things in cans won't be affected by this at all until they're poured in a glass.
All right, let's taste. Test, test, test.
Oh, man.
Those have been outside for 20 minutes.
This is just a light Pilsner.
Okay, turn around. We're gonna set them
okay,
down. You don't
okay.
get to know which one was covered
I hope
and
I
which
don't
one
screw
wasn't.
this up.
So
They've both been in the sun.
don't look.
Yeah, they've both been in the sun.
This
One's-
should be the good one,
right.
and this should be the other one.
Right.
Okay? This is, I feel like that scene from The Princess Bride.
I was just about to say, can I turn around and get my iocane powder? Can I turn around?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And which one do you want him to identify?
Tell me which is the one that's been light struck.
I don't know, but I can smell it right now. Okay, so these are both warm.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, you got it exactly right.
Yeah. That
Wait, really?
one-
It's that obvious?
Oh,
This
yeah.
one smells like it came right out of a skunk's nether parts. I mean, I'd still drink it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, try it.
Okay, this one, it's like a mild kind of, I don't know, sideways tang in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Right?
It smells like my dog's sneakers when he comes in out of the rain.
This is sneakers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's just it being exposed to light for a few minutes.
I can't believe how profound that difference is. And is it just the nose, or does the flavor get affected as
The
well?
flavor gets affected too.
All right, tastes good.
Okay, and here comes the skunky one.
Oh, what's weird is it's not like this is awful.
Right.
It's that this had nuance, and all of the nuance and good stuff is stripped, and it just smells like wet dog to me.
To me, it smelled exactly as you described it. It smells like a skunk. Maybe not as potent or as offensive, but definitely there.
Try tasting it.
I'm gonna do the good one first.
And that's the other thing. The aspect of smelling it as you're about to take a sip is definitely going to affect how you taste it.
Oh yeah, it's much more pungent.
That's gonna taste more like a Corona or something in a clear bottle.
Yeah.
This is why people put limes in them, to cover up that skunkiness.
Oh, that's cheating.
3. Open a bottle with anything.
Sometimes you forget your bottle opener.
Oh, wait.
No, I don't.
Yes, we did
And
this
I'm
on
sure
Hacking the
I'm
System.
sure you've seen this before, somebody grabbing a lighter and opening up a beer with a lighter.
See,
can
you make it
never
look so
do it.
easy. I
Because
can't
it's
do that.
easy.
I
Once
can
you
never
understand
do
how
it.
to do it, it's pretty easy. It takes a little practice
Okay,
though.
the only way I know how to do it without using an actual bottle opener is to do the thing on the side and slam it, and then half the time I end up chipping off a block off the top.
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, it's so much easier doing, I mean, you could do it with pretty much anything. You know, you could open up a beer literally with whatever, like, scissors, yeah, whatever.
Don't cut yourself.
I'm not gonna, you know.
Okay, all right.
Show off.
Yeah. Well, I know
Quit
we
opening
did.
all of our beers.
The one time I've ever been able to make this work was when we shot the segment for Hacking the System, when they were like, yeah, just demonstrate how to open it with a piece of paper. I'm looking, I'm like, I think this is how it works, please. Oh, it worked.
It's very similar to the technique that you used with the paper.
Okay.
You're making a lever, essentially. So when you hold the bottle, you want to put your hand right above the cap, and you're going to put the lighter underneath the cap.
Yeah.
You put your fingers around there, and that's going to be your fulcrum, right? And you pull this down while pulling up on this side a little bit, and it's going to pop it right off.
All right, if I remember correctly, it's gonna really start to hurt on your finger as you push down. Remember, that finger has to be tight on there to act as the fulcrum.
You know what? Once you get the hang of it, it doesn't do that anymore.
I believe
it comes off. It comes
was
right
hard
off.
for me because I didn't have the hang of it.
Hey, there.
Almost.
Almost. Hold it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to choke back on it a little bit more.
Okay, more like
This
that.
is just like
Yes.
Ghost.
See,
it's
so
like
you're
a
by the
doing
way,
it.
this has been my experience
You're
every
doing
time
it.
I've tried this.
You practice this just a little bit more, and you'll get the hang of
But
what it
it's
feels
your
like when
finger
it
that's
starts
the
coming
fulcrum?
up.
Can
yeah,
I-
your
yeah,
finger's
yeah,
the fulcrum.
please.
So you mean the index finger, right?
Yes.
So flat on, palm on top, finger underneath, and then so it's like you're hanging a loop there.
Yes. So you're pushing down here and pulling up the backside. Oh, there it is.
Well, that went easier than expected.
You pull with.
No. You're kind of doing like this, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just pulling down here, but you're pushing up the
that's
backside.
so easy.
Gotcha.
You did it.
Do we have another?
We have to drink all of these now.
Yes, it's law. Okay, so for me, this is like a sky hook down, curled
Yes.
around. That's there to help push up as you pull.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. So once you get used to doing it that way, keep practicing with this. Open up as many beers as you can with it anytime you're drinking. You'll get so good at the idea behind this that you can do it with any kind of firm piece of anything.
The thing is my problem was that I always thought I had to pull up. And then when I would slice up my fingers by ripping it along those edges.
I think a lot of it was that I was pushing down too hard with the palm of my hand rather than using this for leverage. That's the point right there. You don't want to push down too hard, otherwise you're not going anywhere. Yeah, exactly.
Once you have your sky hook in place, holding it in there, it really is like two parts working together, where it's just like you're just twisting. You're not lifting up, you're not breaking anything, you're just twisting.
Right, you're pushing down on this and pulling up just a little bit so that it helps it off.
Yeah.
3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 3. What does that mean?
We made beer better three times.
I got you.
4. The perfect pour.
How do you perfectly pour a beer?
Down your throats.
It can be a thing that's contentious, but we're gonna go over a technique that is really good, looks great, and you're gonna enjoy your beer the best way.
And I guess that's the thing is, as we learned at the Whiskey Vault, the best whiskey is whiskey you like.
Yeah.
The right way to pour a beer is the way that tastes and feels best to you.
And lots of people will pour a beer like this, and I'm guilty of that too. You just sort of pour straight into the glass, and you can get a pretty good pour like that, but there's gonna be a lot of gas that escapes from the liquid. You might end up with head that's just a little bit too much that you gotta wait for. So yeah, there's a way to maximize everything.
I am a fan of the flatter the pour, the happier I am. I feel like I won if there's absolutely no head.
You're halfway there.
I know this isn't entirely true, but if you have a big head, I always feel like that it is beer that has escaped, that it has transformed into something that I will never enjoy.
And instead you should think of it as it churning up a little bit of the flavor and notes that are going on in the beer for the last part, so you can really smell it, dive into the beer.
Yeah, you want those aromatics to pop a little bit.
It's the best way to greet the beer, I think.
Okay,
So,
show us.
What you're gonna wanna do, take your glass, Beerists podcast here, turn it to
Very
a 45-degree
Very
angle.
subtle,
It
Grant.
only,
Well done.
it only works with these glasses.
So make sure you rinse your glass. You want a nice clean glass. Even if you already have a clean glass, it sets up a slickness for it.
Okay.
You're gonna wanna pour at a 45-degree angle here, and you're just gonna hit right there at the center point until it, and you're keeping it pretty flat actually.
The center of the slope of the glass.
Center of the slope, yes. And you wanna make sure you're not glugging the beer down like Rubio did just a second ago.
Right.
And once you hit the halfway point, then you can turn and start pouring it right down the center. You can even lift up a little bit on the beer as you're doing it.
That's not a good way to do it there. You just really destroyed it.
Yeah, well, I kept going.
You kept going. We gotta do it again. Do you want me to do it?
I wish this was national television. And he's like, now presenting the perfect beer pour. And he's just obviously like, blah, blah, blah.
Second take.
Kind of like the way you did it. You're gonna do it kind of gently at a 45-degree angle. You have your beer pouring at the middle of the slope, and then you start to invert it, pour nice down the middle so you get a little bit of head. You're not agitating the beer too much. You keep a lot of that carbonation in there. And that head, look at the difference between your beer and my beer.
Yeah.
Which one looks more appetizing?
Well, yours looks like it's in a commercial, but mine looks like I'll get to the beer part faster.
Right, but this feels more satisfying
Well,
to
and
look
plus
at.
also, that's gonna release a bunch of the aromatics. It's almost as though you can choose when to go turbulent on the pour.
Right, for presentation's sake, you want a little bit of head, but it's really up to you, however you like to drink your beer.
I like your style, sir.
Cheers.
Nailed it. You don't get a cheers. That was, what? I don't know what that was. That was. You can't be surprised you're the one pouring.
So a couple of considerations with pouring style,
Yeah.
right? That's a perfect pour for most styles. If you're gonna be drinking a Hefeweizen, you want that yeast in the Hefeweizen to actually show up in the beer. It gives off most of the characteristic flavors and aromas that you want out of that type of beer. You're gonna put the beer on the side and roll it on the table gently so you can mix all that stuff up into the solution.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
But not so much that the moment you open it, it's gonna splash everywhere.
Right. So that after you've done that, you pour it just like I
Does
showed you.
every type of beer have a different way to prepare it and serve it?
Well, no, there's a couple of considerations for certain types of beer. If another beer that you want to drink has a lot of sediment at the bottom, of course you want to stop before all that sediment runs out into your beer because it's going to change the way it tastes.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to taste like in most cases.
Yeah.
But you do want to stop before that pours out.
5. Accelerate the defoaming of your beer.
So let's say you botched that pour, right?
Name one example of anyone who's
Can you
ever
imagine?
botched that.
Yeah, go figure, right? But you end up with way more head than you want.
See, Grant would keep going at this point.
Yeah.
You can't drink that. Like you can't you're gonna be drinking a bunch of foam. One way to mitigate that, to get rid of it, is kind of gross, but just a little bit of the oil on your nose.
Like snot?
No, just, I mean, rub your nose, you have some oiliness on there, right?
Well, I'm a little offended that you noticed and called me out on camera.
Oil screws up the surface tension of head. So if you look at that, look how quickly that is collapsing.
Man, I feel like we have to do a side-by-side to really test this.
But look at this. Look at what it was before and look at what it is now. And now I can actually drink my beer. It's a little gross, like I said.
Okay, let's do a side-by-side. I want to actually test this one.
Okay.
2 pours, perfect, ready, and go.
Yeah, pour them hard, pour them hard. Go, harder, harder, harder.
There you go.
You want to get a lot of foam going.
In fact, let it overflow if you need to. I don't know.
Okay, that's good.
There you go. Perfect. All right, and go.
So just a little bit of grease from the outside of my nose, a little oil.
Wow, that is dramatic.
Yeah, see how quickly that is starting to collapse?
That's actually incredibly effective. Still not worth it because super gross.
I will drink that right now.
I know you will.
Also, I used my trademark wow.
That is, you did.
And some beers will
Some
beers will retain head longer than this one does, but look at how much has gone away from this one.
We're at 30 seconds. This head is done.
Done.
That's significant. That is.
I would say it cuts the time in half.
6. The right way to drink.
Quick, give us another one.
Well, here's a trick that will keep you hydrated while you're drinking a lot. For every beer you have, drink an equal amount of water.
All right, what else you got?
7. Shotgunning a beer.
I'm ashamed to say that the time I tried to shotgun a beer, it was my 4th in the night, and also happens to be on one of the most popular episodes of Scam School. Thank you, commenters. All right, call it. I'm winning alcoholism.
I'm not really a shotgunning guy personally, but that guy is.
I love shotgunning beer.
Yeah?
How have you never shotgunned a beer?
I'm a classy and refined guy.
No one ever says that.
True, you don't get to just tell lies when somebody asks you that.
You don't know me.
Everyone knows how to shotgun a can, though, right?
Nope.
Okay, you've never done a can?
No, I've never shotgunned anything.
Well, I guess we gotta go with the basics here. So, you need an instrument to stab through it. Usually your keys work because you're at a party.
As I understand, the principle of shotgunning is you're gonna drink out of one hole, but you're gonna poke another hole so all the air comes in, and just like with, pouring oil into a thing.
Pretty much. You want as much air going into the can as liquid is coming out so that there's a lot of liquid coming out real fast.
Okay, but the restriction for me has never been the amount of air or whatever. It's been my inability to have my gullet, swallow.
Relax.
No, I don't think you understand, Brian. That's what makes it funny.
Okay. Take your beer.
Yeah.
Find where the tap is.
Yep.
And that's gonna be you want to turn that sideways.
Yeah.
So you want to hit to the side of that, right here.
Oh, so at a 90-degree angle.
90
so if I'm
degree
drinking
angle.
this way, you want it popped in right here.
And you want to flip that upwards, because you want to pierce upwards into the beer. You don't want to do on the side, or else it's just gonna spray out like that.
Okay,
well, hold on.
Pierce here.
Pierce from the top down, yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Now, to make it a little bit easier, if you lift it just a little bit up, the air bubble that's naturally in the can is going to be right there. You'll pierce even faster than having to put a lot of pressure.
And where do I drink from?
So this is all going to happen kind of quickly.
Yeah.
I don't have it right.
You're going to pierce through here, and then you're going to take this, put it up to your mouth,
Yeah.
turn, open it up, and as soon as you open
drink
it,
out the bottom?
you drink out the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
all right.
once you
I got
once
you.
you open
Got
it up,
got
it
it.
shoots out.
Hey, can you guys tell we weren't in fraternities?
So as soon as you pierce it, that liquid's probably going to spray. So you're going to want to put your mouth over it quickly.
Once it starts flowing in, what, just swallow
Yeah,
fast?
just
that's
put
what
it
happens.
up to your mouth,
When beer's in your mouth, you swallow.
tilt, and then open it up.
Poke, tilt,
No, poke,
mouth,
mouth,
tilt, open. Oh wait, no.
Crank it
But
up.
don't open the tab down here.
This is not gonna go well.
This is gonna be
Look,
messy.
I'll show you. Right? You poke, mouth over it, tilt, and then open.
Gotcha.
Got it.
So,
Okay,
right,
got it.
right where Rubio's mouth was, put your mouth right over that.
I got
fine.
no
It's
problem.
gonna taste
with
like
that.
Not the first time.
I love your whole brand is that you are the guys who appreciate beer, and you're like, here's how to show the greatest disrespect to a beer ever.
I don't enjoy this. This is all Grant.
All right, you guys ready?
Do I need to stab or just push?
Just stab it through, man. Just poke it through.
Hey, before we do this, if you guys want more shenanigans, beerists.com, right?
TheBeerists.com. New episodes every Monday.
See you on the other side, Ray.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Put your mouth on it. What are you doing? Oh, you guys are awful at this.
Close enough.
Lovely.
What the hell are we doing?
You got so much
You're
beer
just
on
drinking.
my
You're
face.
literally just drinking a beer. You're just drinking a beer slowly.
Man, okay, everybody's gonna laugh. I did the stupidest thing. I had it tilted like this, and then I opened it.
What are you doing?
It started coming out. And I was just like, well, that's on camera forever now. God, you
All right.
moron.
Dude, so I'm driving along, I pull over on the side of the road, I grab a newspaper, open it up, the headline reads, Audible still better than this newspaper I'm holding.
Okay, the first part is a lie, the second part is true.
They're the #1 way to get spoken word audio entertainment, whether it's comedy, whether it's novels, whether it's amazing historical speeches. Audible has it, man.
I don't even know of another way to listen to a novel. I really don't. I have no clue.
I now have a habit where it's a good 2 to 3 hours a day, whether I'm working out, whether I'm taking out the garbage, whether I'm going for a walk, walking the dog. All the moments of quiet drudgery are all totally transformed thanks to Audible.
What are you listening to right now?
My friend Andrew Mayne has written like a half dozen, a dozen, 2 dozen books. But I'm an audiobook guy. So I have this awkward thing where he's like, hey, did you read my latest book? And I'm like, I bought it. And it's like, I haven't read it. But finally, a bunch of his books, not only the Jessica Blackwood series, but more importantly, Station Breaker has just come to Audible. It is amazing. Imagine if you're reading The Martian, only the guy rather than the whole world coming together to try to support him. What if the whole world thought he was a murderer and actively hated him? That would be a slightly different
That's a paradigm
journey
shift.
back home, right?
I think that sounds exciting. I am actually reading the historical novel by Erik Larson, Devil in the White City. It's a parallel between the building of the World's Fair and the United States' first documented serial killer, H.H. Holmes.
Oh my God! Is this the guy that built the hotel?
Yes.
The murder hotel?
The massive murder palace.
Oh my God!
I'm taking notes for the next episode of Modern Rogue.
I'll tell you this much. Everything in my life that used to be boring is now entertaining, and I owe it all to Audible. If everyone heads on over to audible.com/rogue, that's R-O-G-U-E, audible.com/rogue, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial. You'll make us look good, but more importantly, they will get the chance to experience what we already know, which is reading books in your ears is the future.
Yeah, you can do it while you're standing in line. You can do it while you're walking to the mailbox. It's way better than reading a newspaper.
I was tempted to just put a bit of, you could do it while you're doing an ad for Audible. I didn't have them, otherwise I would. Audible.com/rogue.